Welcome in, everyone. Sorry, my throat's a little sore since I just woke up a bit ago, but here we go. So we have S1 on X with an early bird. Let's go ahead and set the timer for that and get started. By the way, did the Discord live notification work? Yes, it did. Right? Yes, it did. And it looks like YouTube is working as well. Yes. Okay, we actually seem to have everything functioning right now. Thank you so much for the resubscription, Hyperstimulated. Much appreciated. But yeah, I have family coming up today, and I need to finish cleaning up the house for them. We did most of it like on Wednesday. There's a couple things that need to get done today. I need to empty out all of the cat boxes. Then I need to, once I'm done with the cat boxes, I can yeah, it is gonna be great. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go to a friend's house because I'm not the only one who moved out to this wasteland. And we're gonna walk our friend's dog and say hi and socialize and stuff. And we're gonna make some curry. We're gonna have a great time. Okay, you're right. Let me see if I can fix that. I'll pause real quick. Where do I change that information? Manage, maybe? No, not. I don't want you to open a widget. Stream settings. I think it's in here. Edit. I'm doing all right, Andrew. Let's see here. Art, request, stream. There we go. Got it. All right, it is up to date on YouTube. But yeah, I'm doing all right today. I was up a little bit later than I should have been last night, and my throat's a little sore this morning, but that's probably nothing. I didn't get to go on my walk this morning, so I'm a little disappointed about that, but there's just too much to do today. I have to get this stream done fast so that I still have time to finish cleaning the house before my family gets here, and I need to empty out all of the cat boxes. It's very important. Heck yeah. Let's make sure to resume the timer. I know I forget them a lot, but we got it this time. Ricolas? No, I don't take those things. They cause what's called recursion congestion. Your body, reacts to the absence of them so that when they wear off, and they only last for like a minute or so, it comes back even worse. So I'm not going to do that ever again. Oh, that's so cool. I can't believe I still haven't played that yet. I think I'm gonna play it this week because I've been preparing for a .hack game with my friends. And then the last week of the month is when I go back over the mountains and do my Digimon campaign. That would be a good time to play Time Stranger. That said, I've done all the updates to the system that I need, because remember, it's a homebrew system, because I obsessively make RPG systems for some reason. And I've done all the updates I need. I just need to, I need a post about the updates for one. For two, I need to, what is it? Which term? I probably should have paused so that those... No way! What you doing today? Hopefully get something cool. No worries, Andrew. Welcome in. We appreciate you being here regardless. Welcome in, Faint One. Oh, dang. Never could have seen that one coming. How atypical of you. But yeah. I do have to finish making a boss level, because I have like actual sprites and actual levels for this. One of my players has aphantasia, so the visualizations help him out a lot. Also, one of my players decided to run a movement specialist, so the spaces that everyone's in are actually very important. Then I have to, I have to make the boss level and the sprites for that. Because they are getting close to the boss level. Uh-huh. That was your... Perhaps, perhaps. It's true. But let's see here. This is behind this ear, so I don't need to line it. But yes, your cosplay of Sir Pentius's human form looked very good, Andrew. Thank you for sharing with us. For those of you who don't know, Video Game Andrew likes to do cosplay. And you should totally check out his Instagram for the rest of his cosplay work. As well as a couple skits and even some hot takes on the cosplay community. So definitely check that out. Then, let's see here, I have to double check the timer for starters. I have to update the list because I know we had... Yeah, we have one from Hyper and one from Slot. So yeah. Also, Ah, yes, Video Game Andrew, I believe, is Video Game Andrew on all platforms. No, that's not true. Video Game Andrew is Big Lion something on DeviantArt, and I think his fur affinity is different. I mean, not that y'all wanted to see his DeviantArt, but in case you wanted to see his DeviantArt, let me see here. I can just click this. Big Lion 2013. That is Video Game Andrew's DeviantArt. If y'all would like to check out his cosplay. Did I just finish lining? I might have just finished lining, y'all. Round opacity. Interesting, interesting. I actually did. So we're gonna hide the background layer, we're gonna hide the sketch layer, and we're gonna start coloring. Whoa, hello, wait a second, wait a second. Couple mistakes up here. Alright, let's go ahead and line these teeth in real quick. We only have 1 minute left. It would be cool if I could get at least one field of color filled in today. That would be pretty cool. But y'all, I am so tempted to switch tablets. I actually have a screen tablet. It's slightly smaller, but it's a screen tablet. I feel like that would help me draw my lines a lot better. That sounds good, Andrew. And I don't blame you, Hyper. I, as an artist trying to become more of a professional artist, I have to put up with like almost every platform. The only platform I don't really put up with anymore is Twitter because it's, well, I'm sure y'all know what's going on with Twitter. I don't have to explain that here. And we shouldn't talk about it anyway because it'd be a total downer. But I don't go on Twitter for that reason, but I also don't go on Twitter anymore because it just... I wasn't getting any traction there. Everyone says it's so good for artists, but it's like, could have fooled me. I get 0 reach on Twitter. I get way more reach on Blue Sky. Thank you for that, Andrew. I'm gonna go ahead and double check to make sure that link worked. Oh, Legoshi 3400, yeah. But no, since you're not, like, professionally obligated to deal with them, I don't blame you for not dealing with any of the Zuckerberg sites, including Instagram. It's awful. I barely get any traction on Instagram either, but it's better than Twitter at least. So we're gonna run an ad real quick and then we're gonna get started on the next person on the list. I'm pretty sure that would be Hyper. Once again, thank you for the resubscription. And before we go to ad break, special thank you to Video Game Andrew for the 7-stream streak. Congratulations, Andrew. We appreciate you being here for 7 streams in a row. Early bird, meow, and ad. And we are back from ad break. Welcome back, everyone. Hyper, if you'd like to send that to me over Discord, it would still be very useful as a color reference, even if the anatomy is incorrect. Okay, let's look at the descriptions and whatnot and make sure that everything is correct. The rest of the slots today are going to be half an hour because I set them all to super slots. I feel like doing a couple really long art slots today instead of a bunch of really short ones. And that's not how we're going to do it normally, but I just felt like doing that today. Okay, I see what's going on here. This art style looks familiar. Was this drawn by you or was this drawn by Gatter? This kind of looks like your art style. I'm saving this right now. I'm going into the folder. Pick it up. Let's drag it in. Insert as reference image. So yeah, we won't use the anatomy here, but we are absolutely going to use this as a color reference. That's going to help a lot. Speaking of which, let me check. Okay, do we have any corrections to make on the sketches layer before I move on to the lining layer? Because the corrections are a lot tougher once we start lining and coloring. So before we get started on that, I want to make sure that the sketches are correct. Also, did we say something about a background? That's not important. I can sketch the background in later. Dot Control S. Wait, what? Other than that, I don't see anything yourself. Feel free to move on to the next phase. The more you can make it look like the riff I just sent. Okay. So this kind of has a extreme collar on it. Do we want to maybe add an extreme collar? Or do we want to keep it this kimono style where it just comes down on the shoulders? Hey Drowberry, how you been lately? Let me scroll up. Stripes. We have stripes over here. I shouldn't forget those. And I could probably make these ears a bit more like not Patamons, sorry, like Lopmons. Ears. Okay, here's the ears layer, and I put them on a separate layer. That is handy. I am doing alright today. I have some family coming over later, hence why this is a short stream. Just because I felt like it today, and because this is a short stream, I removed all of the basic request slots and have extra super request slots. Because, like, I just wanted some long and chill periods of time where I'm working on requests, and I want to get a lot done on the requests and have, like, a bunch of progress at the end of the stream. You know what I mean? Like, I had a craving for that today. Like, really get things done and really polish a couple of these. Let me pull up my ref real quick. in here. That's not what I thought it was. Still not bad. I think I'm gonna keep it this way. Okay, so in that case, it kind of sounds like you want me to try to fix the collar. So I'll try to do that. Which, even if this character is not a noble, like, sounds like the type who would anyway. Let me see here. How does this work? I think I see the problem. Let's go this way. Oh, can this character digivolve? So we're gonna remove the we're gonna remove the rings real quick. And we're gonna change, as much as I have like a different motif going on for the rings, and unless you want me to change it, I'm probably gonna stick with that. They don't really fit on the ears. At least not where they were. That's the wrong layer. Can I please tell what layer these things are? Here they are. Boop. Heck yeah. I am a big fan of Renamon, of course. Because who isn't? I'm having a hard time getting through Tamers, though. Finding it really, I don't know, frustrating to watch. Like, we have that one character who's just a total Marty Stew who shows up out of nowhere and kind of takes over the plot. And then we have, like, the villain, like, a brand new villain we've never seen before show up out of nowhere and try to reboot the Shy Guy hole right as the Digidestined get everything together and are ready to have a cool fight with Bilzamon. And, like, it shuffles up the digital world, and now they've lost Kulumon. Yeah, you can tell I'm watching it in Japanese. They've lost Kulumon, and they're warped all over the place again. And they're just starting over from square one. And it's just like, I can't watch this, because it's like, No matter what they do, it doesn't matter at this point. There's nothing they can do to stop those random teleportation laser beams from showing up and splitting them all up again. It doesn't matter if they catch Kulumon. It doesn't matter how powerful they get. They're just gonna keep getting shuffled all over the place, and there's no point in trying. And like... I just... What is that? Oh, a question for everyone. Who is your favorite Digimon? Got it. Fair enough. Alright, see you next Friday, Andrew. Take care. Of course, that's on the wrong layer. Of course it is. See if this even works. I'm feeling like it doesn't. But it's fine, it's fine. YOLO. And then it just wouldn't show up on the other side. I think I'm just gonna leave it. Black Flame Kiwimon. That's not a bad choice. Okay, I think we're ready to start on the lines. Wait, I was gonna adjust the collar, wasn't I? Spent so much time fixing the ears, I forgot about the collar. Here we go, clothes. I'm gonna actually label this layer. Now watch as I never go back to it again. Okay, then... let's see if I can pull this off. Well, that doesn't look great, but I think it works all right. We have the ellipse looking somewhat consistent. Yeah, that's what I thought. It has a has a highlight on it for the trim. Maybe if I make this come over here. That'll be the... That makes sense, because then it's the collar and not like the whole thing. That makes a little more sense, because then the clothes actually contour to what the body is doing, and that makes them feel like they have more mass. I see, I see. That makes sense. All right, I think we're ready to start lining now. All right, that's good. Sketches are supposed to go up here, and we reduce the opacity and get started on the lining. Y'all, where's my timer? You're kidding. It hasn't started this entire time. Alright, well, let's see here. I worked on S1 on X for 10 minutes. Give or take probably another 10 minutes in between. That would be about 17. So 37 minus 20 comes out to 17. So we're going to say about 15 minutes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. There we go. Looks like we have to play an ad real quick right now anyway, so I'll see everyone in about a minute. Be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Let me go ahead and add you to the list, John Nova. Once again, thank you for continuing to be a subscriber. I do as well. But it also kind of reminds me how bad I am at lining on digital, which is why I am very tempted to switch my current tablet for my screen tablet. Like, I've been using my screen tablet for like portable art, but honestly, I almost never use it. So I'm kind of thinking of just switching it out and putting it on my main PC for my main art. It's like, I feel like if I could see where the line is going to be and like visualize that a bit better, then I could do these lines a lot better. I don't know, I seem to be doing all right now, but like, that's the thing. I am so far zoomed in to like be able to do this. I should be able to be zoomed out like this far and be able to do a straight line. That's where I aim it. That actually wasn't that far off. And like, if I could see it, I feel like that would help. I don't know, I'd want to at least try it. I really wish I could have two tablet drivers installed at the same time, because that's the thing, apparently tablet drivers don't play well with each other. So you can't actually have two tablets installed on the same device at the same time. Much appreciated, Faint. I do my best to draw cute characters. Just a second, let me see if there's a line through the middle. There is not. We need these to actually have a coherent tangent line, which means some of this is going to have to be erased. Furthermore, they have to actually have three-dimensional shape, not just be a flat design object. So I have to decide where these lines go. Yeah, I mean, little detailing things like this, it makes sense to be zoomed in, but like, there's a reason artists tell you to zoom out for most of it, and like, it has effects. It's very important that I develop my skills to be looking at, just a minute. Sorry about that, I'm back. So, as I was saying, like, there is a good reason. Like, the skill of being able to keep track of the entire composition is very important, and to do that, you have to be zoomed out. So it's physically not possible to do this, which is training my mind to be more myopic, which is bad for me as an artist. So I definitely want to at least try running my screen tablet on my main PC and see if that helps. For sure, for sure. could just do all my artwork from over the mountain, clearly. It's probably on clothes. Yes, it is. Okay, let's scooch this entire thing over to the side. So we already have those aspects, so I don't need to worry about them being moved. That looks about right. More or less. I'm gonna have to make some adjustments as I go, and we're just gonna wing it. Let's go. All right. The thing is, this is a three-dimensional object as well, so it partially occludes these little pokey-do things over here. No, it's actually more so for traditional art than drawing tablets. It's just that drawing tablets exacerbate the problem. The truth is, it happens with people drawing all the time. They'll get super close to their paper or their canvas or whatever, and they'll ignore the rest of the drawing. Like, my art teacher was constantly getting on people's case about that. Like, stand back, look at your drawing, draw from the end of your arm. Like, utilize your entire arm. Yeah, no. But it's like, it's that it's so much easier to do when the whole canvas is right in front of you, because there is technically no way for you to, like, cut off the canvas from view. It's just your focus that's focusing on a certain part of the canvas. But when you're doing it digitally, it's so much worse, because I just literally physically cannot see the rest of the canvas right now. And that's a problem. And I know some people deal with this problem by putting a preview window up here. I think I can find that in the Dockers real quick. Just a sec. There's a comics manager. I wonder what that does. Uh-huh. Huh. Maybe it's overview. Yes, overview. Yeah. How do I make this bigger? We gotta knock. If Misamo-chan wants to let that person in, she can. I'm gonna go ahead and mute. For real, I made sure to go back to the normal canvas and at least show the little animation real quick manually through OBS. I don't want to trigger it through... I don't want to trigger it through StreamerBot, because if I trigger it through StreamerBot, then it will... Thank you for the boop. Then it will play the message again. But yeah, making plenty of progress on this one. Like, even if I had a screen tablet, I would probably zoom in for this part. Like, this is detailing. I'm allowed to zoom in for detailing. But, like, when you're doing the body, like, for example, this line right here, I should be able to zoom out, see most of the body, and do it correctly. And that's really hard for me. But if I zoom in, super far. And, dang, that's still hard. There, I can kind of judge where it is, but like, that's the thing. That's a really bad way to do it. Like, you should be able to tell where the line is going to be and then plan where it's going to be and then draw it. Like, you ghost it. I don't know if y'all can see my cursor moving, but you ghost it. 1, 2, 3, draw. And eventually you don't have to do the ghosting at all. Like, you get better. Plan the line, do it. But what I'm actually having to do is I start doing the line and I'm making adjustments to it like halfway through, and my brush smoother is just compensating for it. Like, this is what it looks like with no brush smoother. Like, I'm compensating for it as I go, whereas this is also with no brush smoother. What I should be doing is, okay, ghost, I know where the line's going to be. I know what motion my arm has to do. Do it perfectly first try. Like, that's what I should be practicing, but I can't do that here because I have no idea where my cursor's going to go, and I have to adjust to it while live. Actually, yeah, look at this line. This is a perfect example. I started drawing this line, and then halfway through, I realized I'm not going towards my destination, and adjusted for it. Like, that's what I'm having to do with basically every line because I can't see where they're going. I'm gonna add yet another minute to your draw time. But, So that's why I'm thinking of getting the screen tablet, because if I get the screen tablet, I can see where my hand is and where it's going, like, at the same time. I can see both where my hand is, where my cursor is, and where it goes all at the same time. The reason I didn't want a screen tablet to begin with is because the downside of that is my hand blocks a big portion of the screen as well. So there's trade-off, but honestly, in exchange for having no worries, I've added more minutes to your drawing. I'm really glad I made those hotkeys so that I can do it without even pulling the timer app up. But anyway, like, yeah, it's just like, oh, this should be 3-dimensional as well. Yeah, for sure, for sure. You should be able to see these edges at least a little bit. It makes a little more sense. One does not make sense, does it? But yeah, in exchange for developing good lining technique, I think it's worth it to have some of my canvas concealed. With how all the lines are kind of up here, I think it's fair to say that they would converge and you'd actually be able to see both sides up here. Yeah. There we go. That's good stuff. This is incorrect because this should actually meet. Should it? I don't know. I don't know, something about that looks incorrect to me, but YOLO is probably good enough. What if I make this go down here? kind of testing my ability to run perspective right now. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do next time. But yeah, that overview window over here. Oh, y'all can't see that. Let me hide my overlay real quick. So, and I'm going to go ahead and hide my... Where is it? Viado window. Yeah, so there's an overlay window up here. That, like, what the, hold on. An overlay window up here that you can use to keep an eye on the whole thing at the same time, but I feel like that's kind of just... I don't know, that kind of feels like a crutch, and it's not like I'm going to keep an eye on that anyway. Furthermore, it makes it so I have less space to access my tools and my layers, which I don't want. Let me get a bit more layers space. There we go. And let me turn my overlay and my Viado back on. Overlay. There we go. Now let's keep working. I'm going to switch back to a thicker brush size, then go ahead and do the line for this. That was close. Not quite right. Dang it. So frustrating. But it's fine, it's fine. We can keep doing super zoomed in for the rest of the stream. Like, that's the other thing, is like, it looks really bad for people to be watching this live stream with me super zoomed in. Like, that's not a very... Like, I know watching art is not the most exhilarating thing in the world, period. But, like, people having to see this super hyper zoomed in tracing over sketch lines is not the fun part of watching art, you know? Be nice if I could get, like... I wonder if I could get some way to get the whole overview window to be like the main window that goes out on Twitch. That might be neat. And we have a ding. Let me finish up a couple of these lines before we switch to the next one. Down our line weights, but not too much pressure. Good. Good. All right, we got the ears resketched. We changed the collar, and we are now started on the lining. Excellent. Plenty of work done today. Let's see who's next on the list, and let's run an ad while that's going on. I'll see everyone in about 60 seconds. Huh. So I think we're going to do the subscriber slot for John Nova 85. Let's see, where was I with this? I needed to sketch in the ice cream cone and finish the background. And we are back from ad break. We're going to get started on John Nova 85. I'm going to try to do the background and do low detail. Thank you so much, Cyber. Much appreciated, and welcome in. I'm not sure if you noticed, but on my socials, one of your requests got posted, I believe, yesterday. So we need to be careful about doing the background because there can't be too much detail. For those of you who don't know, Cyber Dragon is a regular viewer and a dragon Twitch streamer. Be sure to check him out. For sure, for sure. Then let's go ahead and do that. I am using the wrong brush. I don't care. Awesome! I actually have the redeems working today. Welcome in, Nala. How have you been? Hope you're doing well today. The struggle is real. I know things in the world are not going great. Poor little critter has dropped their ice cream cone. Can you believe it? It's terrible. Terrible. I know. I know, right? It should fall right into our mouths. That's where it belongs. It's true. It's true. So, what have y'all been up to lately? Do tell, do tell. Because this is an all ages stream. But yes, do tell, Nala, what have you been up to lately? Hopefully you've been doing some cool things. We would love to hear about it. Sure. Do tell, what has everyone been up to? Oh, that's so cool. That is substantially less cool. I'm so sorry to hear that, Cyber Dragon. My condolences. Heck yeah, heck yeah. Is this Pokemon Z or is this a different Pokemon content? You know, that kind of sounds like that area. Some people just don't give a fluff about the cold. Not me though. I am like extremely, there's no English word for this, but well, I am sensitive to the cold. In Spanish, they would say friolente. Yeah, you know, for sure, for sure. Like, the gym makes sense. Like, I wear way less clothes when I know I'm going to be exercising. Even though I am so incredibly sensitive to cold. Like, I'll bring a big poofy coat, but it'll be off in like a couple minutes. I don't know. I haven't exactly gone to like sporting events lately where I have my chair set up off to the side and can set my coat on it. So nowadays I usually just take my sweatshirt and tie it around my waist like I'm back in the 90s again. Mm-hmm. Here, there should be a little mascot icon thing here. I can't draw circles today, so I'm just not going to try. Circle Fool's not working today because of course it isn't. That is so annoying. Like, I'm not letting go of it, it's just randomly deciding it's done. I wish I had the same circle generation tools that I had on AutoCAD. I would just be like, offset 1 inch, like, you know, offset 10%, that kind of thing. Playing with this water bowl and tipped it out of his holder on the floor with my... No, you slipped? That's terrible. Dang. Do you have perhaps something to prevent Ramsey from tipping his water out of his water bowl? Oh, dang. Well, at least it wasn't the floor, because you would have had way more momentum by the time you crashed into the floor. Dang, that's still awful. Have you had a CT scan? Well, of course, it's very important if you hit your head that hard to go to the hospital. I was just going to suggest it. Could have had a concussion. It's very important. That's interesting. I'm gonna have to look into that later. Yeah, hence the hospital. He could have gotten a concussion and whatnot. So yeah, is Ramsey a cat or a dog or a dinosaur? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, that sounds adorable. I kind of suspect that my childhood dog back from grade school and middle school and high school was also a pit lab. We always thought she was a Great Dane lab, but like there was this one picture I found of her from way back then where she was looking directly at the camera, and uh now that I've had more experience with pit bulls, I'm like, that really looks like a pit bull head shape. And she could have been one of those pit bulls that was like, had more of the aggression genes in her. Because she was really big on fighting every dog she came across. And then, like, that's the thing, she was found on the road and she had like this scar on her head. So, like, I kind of suspect that not only was she bred for fighting, I suspect that she might have been used in dog fighting. And had like experience with it. Yeah, it's a shame. We just wanted like a regular dog, but it's fine. I wanted her. She was great anyway, and I'm glad we had her. It was just difficult having to dodge everyone's dogs all the time, and I felt so like embarrassed about never getting her training because like even when I graduated high school, as you all know, I was disabled, so I couldn't afford dog training. And like all through middle school and all through high school, I kept saying, "Hey mom, we need to give her dog training. Hey mom, we need to give her dog training." And then she bit a person because the person got in the way of her fighting a dog. And like, well, would you look at that? You could have had a lawsuit now. I told you you needed to give our dog training. And you didn't. And look where we are now. And not only that, I got bit by her one time. Like, I still have scars on my face from it. It's like, you could have been training her. I told you this was important and you kept putting it off. Yeah, like, that's the other thing. I hear that some pit bull breeders are working on breeding the aggressive traits out of their pit bulls now, and that seems to be true because the purebred pit bull we have now, or at least he looks purebred. He looks very, very purebred. We have no idea if he is because he was a rescue from someone who's dead now, but like, he is the sweetest, most needy and clingy thing you will ever see in your entire life. And it's like, if you look at... Aww. I'll have to take a look in the pet chat on your server and see if I can find any pictures. Okay, I think that's good for the background, actually. I have a couple theories on what it could be, but first things first, we have to run an ad or Twitch is going to yell at me. So we'll be back in 60 seconds and then I'll tell you the theories on the mystery of Shady's origins. See everyone in a minute. And we are back. Welcome back, everyone. So, as I was saying, first of all, yes, I am talking about Bubby. He's such a good boy. He's the goodest boy, and he's the clingiest boy. He goes right up in your face and goes snark, snark, snark. It's very cute. Gives you the puppy schloops. And I get to walk him today. As soon as my family gets here, we're going to go over there. We're going to visit our friend and neighbor. And we're going to take Bubby for a walk. But he's the most adorable and he's the goodest, and I love him so much, and I miss him because I used to have a job where I would walk him every morning, but the current owner can't afford it right now, so I don't have that job. And I definitely need it back because I need to be saving money right now, and it's really hard to get by on like $200 a week in today's economy. Welcome in. What? Just a reminder, everyone, this is an all ages stream. But yeah, so Shady, my lab from back in the day who potentially had some pit bull. Just a minute, I'm gonna grab some water. Oh, that's peculiar. It's saying my connection is unstable. I'm going to try refreshing the page and see if that changes anything. That's weird. It says it's excellent on YouTube, but unstable on Twitch. Well, anyway. So Shady the Black Lab, she was discovered on the side of the highway wandering around. She had a couple scars on her head, and she had As we found out later, she had the dog aggression. She was trained to sit and she was trained to shake. In retrospect, that could have just been the people at the dog shelter that taught her that, because it was a really nice dog shelter. I'm sure you know the one, Kamajot's. But the one by the dump. Like, practically right next to the dump. That one. I mean, presuming they haven't moved their location, but yeah, that one, the no-kill shelter. And, then they... Right. We found out later about her dog aggression. Also, she recognized firearms. And would lose her potatoes when, like, firearms were around. And it's like, I'm sorry, how else would you recognize what a gun is and what it does unless it has been used around you, like, several times? And that's... the implications of that are kind of terrifying. Like... yeah, like... for real. Like, she, my friend had a Nerf gun that he would, like, torment her with. Like, if he cocked it and pointed it at anyone, she would lose her shit. And it's like... and he thought it was funny, and I'm like, dude, that's really not funny. What is wrong with you? But, you know, he was being a kid, I guess. But, she... I think she had a really bad life before, and we rescued her. And did the best we could. The rest of her life. But yeah. So that's why my theory is she was used in dogfights, but probably escaped and was found by the highway. Either that or she was abandoned. Like, I don't know, she looked a lot like a lab, so if someone was trying to breed pit bulls, like black pit bulls, I could see why they would get rid of a dog like her, because she doesn't look very much like a pit bull. She had a lot more of the lab DNA than the pit bull DNA. So that is my theory on where she came from. I mean, it's like my aunt tried to be like, oh, well, maybe she's just trying to be dominant. And she tried to, like, have her and, have Shady and her little, pug Nemo meet. And she'll be like, oh, yeah, she'll just bark once and then to show dominance and, like, roll over Nemo, who will surrender just fine and everything will be fine. And it's like, no, she genuinely tried to kill that dog. And it's like, that is exactly what happened. That is exactly what happens when you pass a, they call them, like, feeder dogs or something, to a, real dog fighter, you know? They give them little dogs to try to train the killing instinct in them. So she clearly had that training of, okay, this is a feeder dog. I need to kill it. So, yeah. I really wish we could have gotten that instinct trained out of her, but to an extent we did. She got in a couple dog fights later on in life, but, like, for the most part she had, we had a second dog much later in life named Amy, and Amy and her would get in dog fights occasionally, but, like, A, they never seriously hurt each other, B, they, ended up getting along really well for the rest of their lives. Like, and I think Shady really appreciated having a companion dog that she could finally get along with. Like, she would just schloop the heck out of Amy for, like, 15 minutes straight. Like, Amy's face would just be soaking wet, covered in schloop. And you don't understand. Shady had a gigantic head and therefore a gigantic doggy tongue. That was just huge. And she'd be using this giant little schlooper on, like, Amy's face, and it would look like Amy had, like, just had a bucket of water dumped on her by the time Shady was done. She loved that dog so much. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, but no, I think she found peace in the end. I think she found peace with humanity, and she found peace with her own kind. And that's what's important. That we were able to provide that for her. Also, she was great at chasing bears. Did I mention that? She was really, really into chasing bears. That was like one of her favorite things to do was chase bears. Those poor bears. Did not know what they were getting into. Yeah, I was on a hike this one time. We had Amy, Shady, and the neighbor's dog, Poochie. And, like, I'm just walking along this road in the middle of nowhere. There's no one around me for, like, a mile or two. And, like, I hear them, I see them wandering off and, like, hear a bunch of crashing through the underbrush. And right in front of me on the road, a big old giant black bear just bursts out from the bushes, going at full speed, and runs right across my path, closely followed by Shady, who is actively biting at it. She is actively biting at this bear's butt as he is booking it as hard as the poor thing can. And right behind her is Amy following along as well. And right behind Amy is Poochie. So you had 3 dogs just tormenting this poor bear. For real, for real. That bear's gonna have dog trauma for life. She didn't even she didn't even give a fluff. She didn't even give a fluff. She's like, I'm gonna take on a bear. Today's the day. Today's the day. I mean, fortunately, we don't have grizzly. We didn't have grizzlies where we lived, only black bears. But yeah. Gotta say, when she wasn't around, bears were really scary. It was like, this one time I led my friends out super far in the middle of nowhere, and we were on a mountainside, and like, ran into a bear cub, and we had to like book it up a hill as fast as we could. Because, you know, with bear cubs, you never know if the mother's nearby, and that's one of the few things that'll make a black bear attack. So that was really scary. Then, like, a couple years later, I'll tell my short bear story a bit after ad break. Because we are ding on John Nova. So let's play an ad break and then we'll get started on Faint. Why is it doing that? Oh well. Let's get to work. I believe we are back from ads. And my last bear story was one time I was out at this overlook. I hear more crashing through the underbrush, and I see this bear come out just down the hill. And like behind I see a baby bear come out from behind a hill, and like as you know, seeing a baby bear is already scary enough because, you know, mother could be nearby. Stab it. There we go. And sure enough, another baby bear comes out from behind the bush, and another baby bear, and then the mama bear. And they're like, I don't know, 50 feet away. So I just stood very still and waited for them to disappear into the underbrush. Waited for a while, and then I booked it back home. I wasn't actually that far out that time. Not like it mattered. Not like anyone would have been able to hear me. Like, I was probably half a mile away. I think we're going to get a lot of this one done right now. Let me go ahead and grab some references, though. Open this up. And, oh, this is a full body. I thought this was half body. Well, that's fine. I can make some adjustments. It's not a problem. Got him. Okay. That's close to the angle I want. And let's see here. All right, I think that's enough refs. Let's see what I can do about this. So is this going to be half? Tigress is what size? I need to get these proportions right. Let me reduce the opacity on this. So she is here and here. About halfway is here. So her waist is about where the bottom of the pelvis should be on most characters. Half, half, half. And let's see here. That's like mid-chest where that is. How many heads tall is she? Dang it, she's about 5 heads tall, isn't she? I think she is. Let me use my measuring tool. Distance is, let's see here, 91.2 pixels, give or take. Then at the bottom, we're at about 486 pixels, give or take. 486 divided by 90. My calculator, please. 490 divided by 0 equals 5.5 heads. Yeah, so I was right. She's about 5 heads. I hate doing characters who have 5 heads. It's so difficult to divide that space up. So let's see here. If I divide this by 5 and try to do this by eyeball. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's not quite evenly spaced, but it's not quite 5 heads anyway. It's more like 5.5. So we're gonna go knees, waist. This one's so useless right here. That's close to the bottom of the chest, So if this is waist right here, that means we have one more here. It's kind of halfway through. And this head needs to be way bigger. So that means that this should actually be divided in thirds, I want to say. Yeah, because these are evenly spaced divisions. Not the first time I've drawn tigers either. For those of you who watch me on DeviantArt, I actually did a tigress transformation for video game Andrew a few months ago, and it was fully animated. And some of my transformations aren't that good. Like, I don't always nail it every time, but I feel like that one I'm actually pretty proud of. That one was pretty good. I'm gonna do this shape for her head and then go down here. Why am I even drawing this? Like, this isn't gonna show up. In fact, I believe we have a cartoonish stretching on the neck, so it's not even gonna be here. But whatever, it is important that I get the proportions right, so I'm going to keep it here for now, but I can just use the transform tool to move it later. So she has a fluffing massive chest, like her rib cage is huge, her shoulders are huge. She has tons of upper body strength. Go this way, and let's go down this way. For real, for real. I don't know, she kind of has that soft bulk going for her, is how I would describe it. A lot of the people I fought back in LARPing had that going for them. Like, you know, most people would look at that guy and be like, oh, that's a fat guy, he can't fight. And then, like, you'd go toe-to-toe with him with swords, and it would be like getting punched in the face by a train, and it's like, holy fluff, these guys are so strong. And they're incredibly fast, and they have like plenty of agility and dexterity to pull off complicated shots. I mean, as if you'd throw anything but high cross as your starter. But, sorry, there's no one here who gets that joke. No members of the quote, Church of the High Cross, lol. But, it's a strike that you do. It's a extremely common strike in certain foam fighting sports, where you go across yourself and you go high. But, yeah, for real. Like, well, I mean, they're big fellas because there's a lot of good food down there, but like, no, there's also just a lot of strength. Like, you can't do all this without calories and without muscle and without strength. And like, they see this and it looks soft, and it's like, no, you don't understand. A lot of what's underneath that fat is muscle. Like, it's not more fat, it's muscle. You're looking at muscle. Like, we're so used to muscle looking like all ripped and detailed, and oh man, every single muscle group needs to be shown. But no, like, if it's like that, you're dehydrated, you're thin, and you're lean. Like, you can actually be just as ripped and just as strong, and it's just not gonna look like how everyone thinks it's gonna look like. Yeah. Oh, you just plain sink. Like, my uncle was in this swim class, and like this, um, let's call her soft, a soft and squishy swim instructor who was, you know, a woman with tons of, you know, with a completely different, like, body fat ratio, kept being like, oh, just lay there and relax and you'll float. And it's like, no, I won't. I'm not floating. I have to use my arms to hold myself up. And she's like, I don't believe you. Just stop moving your arms and relax and you'll float. And he's like, all right, and took a deep breath and was sitting there at the bottom of the pool being like, well, I ain't floating. Like, she just could not comprehend that, like, no, this is a body fat distribution thing. This is not a just relax and it'll happen kind of thing. These arms need to be way, way thicker. Yeah, 100%. Uh-huh. Fair enough. I had a deformity, so I stopped going in the pool when I was in middle school, and I never really picked it up again. Like, after I finally got the surgery and got my deformity fixed, like, I went swimming a couple times, but I never really liked it because, like, then I rediscovered, oh, right, I'm extremely sensitive to cold. This is freezing. I hate this. Yeah. I was made fun of it a lot. As I was mentioning, my friends in middle school were more like my bullies. No, that's scary. I've known someone with that before. That stuff kills you eventually. That's such a terrifying condition. No. Because everyone else's definition of heated and my definition of heated are very different things. Like, if you turned up a pool hot enough for me to, like, be totally comfortable in it, like, everyone else would be like, this is disgusting, I am swimming in soup. For real, for real. Yeah, I think that's why people don't like having their pools be heated to like comfortable amounts. And like hot tubs are fine, I guess, but like you have to get out of the hot tub eventually and then it's freezing. So it's like you're kind of just kicking that can down the road for like freezingness and discomfort. So I'm really just not a fan of them. And then I have to like change my clothes and I feel super gross and wet until I do. Trying to get this dang body correct. Okay, so we're gonna have to scooch this further down, right? Unless, what if we just shrink it? Yeah, that's fine. These arms are so difficult because, like, I know human anatomy. I know where the muscle groups are. This character doesn't have that. This character's our cartoon. These arms are practically rubber hose. It drives me nuts. But it needs to be like rubber hose, but it also needs to look powerful and strong. And combining those two is driving me nuts. How do I make rubber hose look strong? And don't say One Piece because I disagree. Yeah. Now we put this head up here to match with the pose. Should do the trick. And we put the paws over here. Should be rectangular shape, kinda. Yeah, like a... I am not sure what that blank is, but like for jacuzzis, nah. Like like I was saying, it kind of kicks that can down the road. Like, yeah, I can get into the jacuzzi just fine, and I guess I'm comfortable enough while I'm in the jacuzzi, but like, you have to get out eventually. And it's freezing when you do, so it's like, there's always this, you know, anxiety in the back of my mind of like, okay, did I remember a towel? Am I sure my towel's there? Am I sure I'm sitting with people who aren't going to be a bunch of doop bags and like throw my towel in the water again? Like, starting to think I have a bunch of pool trauma because, like, good lord, have a lot of people been really mean to me by pools. Because it's like if you get thrown into a pool, like not only did it wreck my phone and no one bought me a new phone, just blamed me for it. You know, I hate being a kid because it's like, as an adult, I'd just be like, I'm suing you. That was assault. You threw me against my will into a pool. It's not funny. I don't care. You broke my phone. I had no control over it. Doot bags, yeah. Doop or doot. Either's fine, but like, then like, had this swimming instructor when I was very young who threw me in the pool, towel and all, and it's like, that was my only towel. Do you have any idea how cold I am? Yeah, for real. Yeah, like, if I was an adult, people would have taken it seriously, but like, kids, they're just like, oh, kids will be kids. I guess they get to do whatever the heck they want and break property and violate people's personal space. Nah, it was a private instructor that my parents were paying for. Yeah, like my parents were there, everything. They thought it was hilarious. Yeah, they just didn't care. But like after that, my mother at the time, like I want to say like either that or the next session, she like just made sure I could do a couple swim strokes and she's like, yeah, that's good enough. We can stop coming here. So I can tell you hate it. Yeah. Yeah. I was just cold as heck. Like I wasn't injured or anything. Obviously I could swim. I think that's what he was trying to test. In fact, like I strongly suspect he might have been put up to it by my father, was like, okay, if this child gets thrown into the water and didn't expect it, would they be able to survive? You know what I mean? Would she be able to swim if she's suddenly, okay, the boat has a hole, it's an emergency, you're suddenly flung into the water, can you suddenly react and swim back to the surface? Yeah. It's like, yes, yes, I could, just fine. I didn't need to have my towel soaked to do that. I suppose he was definitely not a fan of the stepbrother I had temporarily. We had to find out the hard way that my stepbrother couldn't swim. Like, I mean, I say stepbrother, he never married the woman. They got engaged a couple times, but it was just such a toxic relationship that lasted for years. But, where was I? Right. So we had to find out the hard way. Like, I guess he thought he could swim and was able to swim before, but forgot. And it's like, how do you forget how to swim, dude? So, like, we're at someone's party. It is just me and just him. And, like, he dives to the bottom of the pool, like, does a frog swim forward, like, 3 times. And then I see him just flipping out at the bottom of the pool. And then he, like, kicks the floor and goes back up and, like, manages to sputter out something, like, unintelligible before dropping right back down and can't sputter anything else until he hits the bottom of the pool and can kick himself back up. And, like, it should say a lot about how my social situation was, that I thought he was making fun of me, and that I was going to, like, we'll finish this story in 60 seconds. Sorry to leave y'all on a cliffhanger. This is the wrong layer to be messing around with that. And I've made a lot of mistakes on it. Welcome back, everyone. I decided, like, not only is the undersketch the wrong layer to be working on the face, but I'm going to work on the clothes because that sounds easier right now. So here we are going with Tigress's Kung Fu Panda 3 outfit. So yeah, my stepbrother was drowning in the pool, and, like, I had 2 very conflicting feelings on this. One, I thought he was faking it because, like, I thought he'd be making fun of me and being like, oh, you fell for it. You jumped into the pool to try to save me. Can you believe it? What a loser. Like, that's how extremely, conditioned I was to believe I was always being bullied. But then, at the same time, like, in my many swimming classes, including the ones at, like, the country club pool, at the country club pool, they told us how to spot someone faking drowning. I don't know why they would tell us this, because that just makes it easier for kids to fake drowning, but they did. And, like, it looked 1000% exactly like they described drowning would look like. So, like, I had 2 very conflicting feelings about it. So and it's like, okay, but this doesn't make sense. Why did this kid jump in the pool and very confidently dive straight to the bottom and do 3 frog swims before realizing he couldn't swim? Like, if he can frog swim at the bottom of the pool, why can't he frog swim to the top? This makes no sense. Like, what? So confused. So, instead of jumping in, I grabbed the kickboard and, like, casually, pretending I'm not freaking out right now, like, trying to hide the fact that I was freaking out, kicked it to him. And when he came back up after kicking off the pool again for air, he grabbed it and was fine and was gasping and came back. And I'm like, when he got back, I'm like, what the fuck? What the? Oops, I swore. Sorry about that, everyone. Apologies to my all ages fans. What the fluff was that? Like, did you seriously do that? You just told me you're a good swimmer. I just watched you swim just fine for like the first several seconds, and then suddenly you're drowning. Like, what? I'm so confused. It's just like, I don't know. I don't know. I thought I could. I've swum before. It's like, I don't get it. Like, I hadn't swam in like, I don't know, 15 years, and then like, I have to teach Misamo-chan's kid how to swim. He still can't, not reasonably well. And like, I jumped in that pool and could swim just fine. Like, you know, it occurred to me like, oh man, am I gonna pull a suddenly forget how to swim like my stepbrother? And it was like, no. Could swim just fine. So I don't know how the heck you do that. And my dad was very upset about that. He did not like that child. He really did not like that child. Maybe. I don't know. Like, that's the thing. He couldn't swim ever again after that either. Maybe I should go with this sundress thing. I don't know. That kind of looks better. I wasted a bunch of time on this too. I was really struggling on this one, y'all. I don't know why. I just think it's not the anatomy I'm used to. Oh, thank Fluff y'all can't see my saves window. That would give a bunch of spoilers. Okay, save. Let's see here. Tigress. Vase. Stuck. I should probably name this F-A... What was it? What was it? F-A-I-N... I already lost it again. G-H-T-1. There we go. It's very important that these files follow my naming conventions. Makes it much easier to find them. We are almost done with the... We are done with the stream today. Oh, thank Fluff. I have so much work to do before my family gets here. Alright, unless anyone else wants to drop a request slot, we are going to find someone to raid to. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, is like, once he had the experience of drowning, he, like, forgot how to be successful at it, successful at swimming, so I don't know. What? I did not know that. Yeah, it bugs me a lot. Like, I want to make sure, like, every couple years or so, I want to go swimming just to make sure I still can in case of an emergency, but I really don't want to do it normally. Like, as a habit or anything. You know what I mean? I don't know. I am kind of liking doing these super slots instead of the basic slots. Maybe we should experiment with doing a stream next time that's, like, only super slots and, but of course, going the full 5 hours instead of like a couple hours. But then again, a lot of people can't afford the super slots, so I don't know. I don't know. That's a lot of points. That's definitely a lot of points, so maybe not. But anyway, so let's find someone to raid to. Yeah, something unclicked in his head that I don't think he could re-click. Like, if he just had the confidence to do those frog swims that he'd done before, it's like, dude, just do the frog swims, but at the surface. I don't get it. It's a froggy paddle, you know? I don't understand. Okay, yeah, this one's actually just starting. This is a perfect time to raid into this person. Okay. Maybe. I mean, I could always just adjust how many of them are available or that kind of thing and have like a mix of the two. But like, honestly, the way we were doing it before is probably fine. I really like working for like half an hour in a row and actually having progress done on the request by the time we get there. Or at least having time to struggle on the parts that are giving me struggle instead of coming back next time to like a bunch of struggling that, you know. Anyway, I think we're gonna go to Margot Simone Art this time. We haven't been there in a while, but everyone be nice and say hi. She is cottagecore, a cottagecore traditional artist. So, sure to be nice and say hi, everyone. Thank you all for coming today. I appreciate your understanding with the shorter stream, and I look forward to seeing y'all next week. Let's go.